The name Junior Bridgeman might ring a bell to some. After being drafted as the 8th overall pick in the 1975 NBA draft, he was one of the guys the Los Angeles Lakers traded for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. While Bridgeman had a good 12-year NBA career, he didn't necessarily establish a name because of basketball. Rather, it was his entrepreneurial chops that catapulted him to fame. His highest single-season salary in the NBA was $350,000. Now, Bridgeman's net worth is estimated at $600 million. Bridgeman's potential to be an excellent manager revealed itself when he became president of the National Basketball Players Association from 1985 to 1988. The task involved hearing his colleagues' concerns and communicating them to the team owners. Apart from learning the art of listening and negotiation, Bridgeman also discovered that while basketball brought happiness to the team owners, what brought them greater joy was making and creating something successful. By then, Bridgeman already knew that basketball was a temporary pursuit. Even before his body broke down, he was already setting himself up for life after the NBA. While still playing, Bridgeman bought a Wendy's branch in Milwaukee. Upon his retirement from professional ball in 1987, he already had 3 Wendy's franchises. Success didn't come overnight. While he had over 20 Wendy's branches across the US not long after his retirement, they weren't lucrative enough. But his faith was so great in the restaurant's potential that he shelled out his own money to cover operating costs as well as purchase more franchises. He also put in the work. For over 12 hours each day, he studied the intricacies of the business and figured out ways to improve the system. By 2016, the former Bucks swingman already had over 200 Wendy's franchises and 100 Chili's franchises across the US. He put his massive restaurant portfolio under Bridgeman Foods Inc. His branches provide employment opportunities to over 11,000 workers and rake in some $500 million in revenues per year. Any businessman knows that the measure of success is profit. A business, whatever it may be, is doing well if it's yielding a surplus. Bridgeman knows this, but he also has another benchmark to success: if he's helping others. It's about helping other people better their lives. That's what the driving goal is, Bridgeman says. Bridgeman places priority on investing in people. He hires and trains his staff well, knowing that shelling out capital for burger patties alone won't cut it. Like any business magnate, Bridgeman is always looking to expand and diversify. It's not uncommon for wise entrepreneurs to sell their businesses or part of it to invest in a new one. This is exactly what Bridgeman did in 2016 when he divested his restaurants to make room for a brand new investment, Coca-Cola. After selling off his restaurants, Bridgeman officially became a distributor for Coca-Cola. He became just the 3rd independent bottler to join the company then. The brand gave Bridgeman exclusive operations in most of Kansas, a chunk of Missouri, a little over half of Illinois, and a small part of Nebraska. He also expanded his bottling rights to Canada. Just a year after being a distributor for Coca-Cola, Bridgeman called up Canadian businessman Larry Tannenbaum to acquire Coca-Cola Refreshments Canada. Junior is now the president and CEO of Coca-Cola Heartland. The company, its production plant in Lenexa, Kansas, and its 18 regional distribution centers are run by him and his son Justin. Bridgeman brought his learnings from the restaurant industry to the bottling industry. From his observation, there's little difference between the two enterprises. It all boils down to people, those who work with you and those whom you'll serve. His business philosophy is pretty much like an inverted pyramid. He considers himself the least important person in the company. From his view, it's those who take care of the everyday operations who are critical. Bridgeman's role, in his own words, involves figuring out how to make what they do better, easier, and fun. With regards to customers, Bridgeman makes it a point to connect with them. He holds key discussions with city mayors, councilmen and women, and local businesses. He also makes it a point to converse with smaller communities as well. His philosophy can be summarized in his quote: "It's not what can Coca-Cola Heartland do, but rather what can they do with our help." Bridgeman isn't just talking about giving employment opportunities to the towns and cities his businesses serve. The former NBA swingman is also into the development of the communities in these locations. His companies positively impact these communities through charitable donations to institutions like the Crittenton Children's Center at St. Luke's Hospital in Kansas City and the Crisis Nursery at St. Patrick's Center in St. Louis. Bridgeman also personally supports several basketball camps and a Louisville boys' school for children that were homeless. Bridgeman was also a leading contributor to the $35 million Heritage West, a sports and learning complex at 30th Street and Muhammad Ali Boulevard in Louisville. The project is expected to generate $47 million in revenues as well as reduce crime in the city. Bridgeman's business empire isn't just comprised of restaurants and Coca-Cola bottles. In 2020, he added Ebony magazine to his holdings for $14 million. Months before being acquired, the magazine was forced into bankruptcy. Bridgeman saw Ebony as a magazine that didn't just write the history of black people, but also the United States. Basketball, the sport that gave his business career a jumpstart, is still well within his entrepreneurial interests. He was once a minority owner for the Sacramento Kings. The Milwaukee Bucks, whom he played for in 10 of his 12 years in the NBA, reached out to him to become a minority owner, but no deal was reached. In 2021, Junior became an investor in NBA Africa, along with former NBA players Grant Hill, Joakim Noah, Congo native Dikembe Mutombo, and South Sudan native Luol Deng. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver pegged NBA Africa's value at nearly $1 billion. Bridgeman is also a founding partner of Mana Investment Partners, a private equity firm based in Louisville, Kentucky. He also serves on the board of directors of Churchill Downs, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, Simmons College, and the West End School. Bridgeman's number 2 jersey was actually retired by the Bucks in 1988. This was because he had played the most games for the franchise then. This was a testament to his stamina, endurance, and unfazed loyalty to the squad. His awards, as expected, came from the business world. He's been inducted into various halls of fame like the University of Louisville College of Arts and Sciences, Missouri Valley Conference, and the Kentucky Entrepreneur Hall of Fame. In 2019, he was awarded the prestigious Gold Cup Award from Greater Louisville, Inc., in honor of his business contributions and community involvement. Past winners include Sam Swope, Barry Bingham Sr., David Jones Sr., C. Edward Glasscock, and Christian Owsley Brown. The NBA is full of great stories featuring teams, coaches, and players. It's foolish to tag Bridgeman as simply one of the trade pieces the Lakers gave up to acquire Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Bridgeman proved his worth when he became a legitimate role player for the Bucks. Post-basketball, Junior showed off his business acumen, proving that he's more than just an athlete. He's someone who wants and can make a dent in the galaxy through business.